Hey guys, so a little bit different this time around. I wanted to kind of go over a new browser app actually that has been up and coming and has been really popular with some people I know, especially on Twitter. And I wanted to share a little bit about it. Actually, when I was speaking to the content creators for this app, I was, again inspired to go back to the reasons why I had come back to collecting, a few years ago, following after I graduated and got my bachelor's and before going to nursing school, how I got back into Pokemon. And thinking back to when I was a kid, all of us as kids, no matter when we started, we collected Pokemon cards or we played the games. We actually played we played both the video games and also the trading card games, maybe. Or maybe we just collected. I kind of did all of those things. And from there, I think all of us can remember the different ways we kept track of the cards that we collected, whether we played them or whether we just put them in our binders, what kind of sleeves we used. Maybe it's something we got more concerned about as we got older, perhaps anyway. I mean, you talk to a lot of people today, a lot of them wish, including myself, that they kept all of their cards since they were, just little kids. And a lot of cards are worth a lot today, actually, and more so than monetary value, but a lot of nostalgic value and just a lot of sentimental value that is the reason why collectors today do what they do, is because of sentimentality and also because of nostalgia. On top of that, at least for me, Pokemon is a fun game. Either to play it seriously in a competitive form or just to play it casually. I'm more of a casual player, but hopefully I'll get into more of the competitive play eventually and win some of those cool tournament packs. I never know. But anyway, the reason why I mentioned that, again, because I said I was going to go over a web browser app. And what it is, it's pkmn.gg, or I call it, Pokemon.gg. And I'm going to go over it, but a little bit about the app itself, about its creation. I actually wrote a small article on it, and I'll be putting it on my blog or my website, which will be linked in the description below. And it was fun because I got to communicate a little bit with the one of the creators of pkmn.gg, and the very, very cool guys. If you read the article, you'll see all the details there, but basically we have Travis and his friend who, just like I mentioned before, growing up as kids, being inspired to collect again at some point, and then thinking of ways to make collecting a little bit better. And the thing is, both of them, Travis and his friend, coming from the video game industry, developing from being developers, being experts in their fields within that industry, such as in UI design and all those really cool things that I wish I could do. They put their minds together and they've done a lot of things. And Travis himself, he does a lot of cool things as a freelancer, as he does his job as a video game developer, just as the same as his friend. And on the side, they've done this, and I think it's really great. So, without further ado, I think it's time just to kind of look at the website itself. And although right now it's not a local app that's in the Google Play or the Apple Store, it will eventually be. That's what they told me, that it will eventually be an app that we can download. But for now, you can definitely bookmark this on your browser. And just as I know, my good friend Shiba on Twitter, Mike, what he shared was you could also, of course, log on your phone and then just save the bookmark to your home screen. But anyway, so let's take a look at it here. Just, I'm not a real product reviewer kind of guy, so I'm sorry if I miss anything, but check it out yourself. There's a lot of things in the mix for the features that they're adding. But so far, some of the stuff that stood out to me is definitely, of course, the looks of it. And we're gonna look at it right here. This is the site, and of course, it starts in dark mode. I think for me, it's in dark mode, and it really reminds me of Steam or Discord, right? So the thing is, they come from a video game background, and I think the features that stand out to me that they're going to be working on in terms of interacting with your friends. And speaking of which, if you go to up here, you can let me zoom in a little bit. If you look here, you can add friends. At this point, that is a feature already. So eventually, you'll be able to view your friends' profiles and see showcases like the cards that they have, and also the cards that they need, for example. And I'll get into that when we see that on the website. But first, I'm going to accept some friend requests. There we go. And of course, you can find friend. And I sent one to Mike, but I think I already, yes, I already have him. But I had sent one before. I thought that was his username in here, but it's not, I guess. Cancel that. But I already have Mike. He is in here. So there he is. Okay, so there's that. And anyway, so you can add friends here, and eventually you'll be able to view their profiles. In terms of profiles, so you go over here, you see you have tools on the left side, and over here you'll see, so in collections, you have, your profile, and it kind of keeps track of total cards, unique cards, the day they joined, and the cool thing they're going to add eventually is like achievements. It's kind of like, things like Steam. That reminds me of Steam when you have Steam achievements. Eventually there'll be achievements for that. And I mentioned this in my article, but actually you can go to their website, which I'll put the link also in the description to their Trello, and it has all the updates that they're going to be working on and all the new features too. They also have a Discord, by the way. You can join their Discord. I'll link that in the description too. But otherwise, yeah, so this is the collection page. And and by the way, when you look at the cards here, what I guess I should have done was to first go over, if your first time, what you would be doing. So if it is your first time, you wouldn't really see this yet. You'd actually be maybe in the signing in. So at this point, when you're setting up your account, you set up your photo, your username, and right here you can toggle prices on or off. Some people don't like to see the prices, so you can always turn that off, and you can link your accounts either to Discord or to your Gmail. I found it easier to use my Gmail, but so far, this is it, the account settings, and there's going to be more added. If you look at their Trello and see some of the things that they're going to be doing for onboarding when you're setting up your account, it's all pretty promising and it's pretty cool. So in addition to that, on the top you also have activities. So the activity log is cool, I thought, because of course you have a silhouette here on the left side of the cards that you added, or not necessarily added, it could be you did something to it. In this case, it's showing how I edited my quantities of how many cards I have for those. So that's the other thing. You can, of course, also list your quantities of the cards. So earlier I showed you collections, but if you go to the other tab here, series, you can select the series in terms of which collection you are wanting to look up. And so far I've only inputted Crown Zenith in the Sword and Shield, and I haven't inputted the rest yet, but I hope to. And I have Scarlet Violet. So let's just go to Crown Zenith, because I actually have a card I got today that I can use as an example, because it's a card I don't have yet. So here they separated it, of course, similar to other apps. If you think about Pokelector or similar apps like that, of course you separate the sets, and within the sets there might be trainer galleries and whatnot. For Crown Zenith, there's the Galarian Gallery. So I'm actually going to be going there to add a card that I just got. But since we're here, we can go ahead and take a look at the UI, which I think is Very nice. It's very neat, and I don't know if it's because I'm used to the UIs I see in you know different apps having to do with either Steam, Discord, or even you know similar to games that I play like in World of Warcraft, for example. For some reason, it kind of triggers my gamer mindset. Looking at this screen, I just think it's organized really well. You can organize by number, name, rarity, price, even artist. See, so I think that's pretty cool how they can group it together in terms of grouping certain artists together or the names of the cards, numbers. So descending, ascending. It's really cool. I actually haven't played with every single feature in terms of sorting it. So far, what I've been really obsessed with is just going to haves and needs. So, of course, the way that's set up, it's pretty self-explanatory. Once you go to your collection, let's say show all. Let's say I didn't have this would be blank, right? So I would just click that and I have it once I get that card. Um, and let me show an example though of the regular set, because in the regular set, of course, you have standard and reverse holo slots, and for some of the holographic cards, at least for the yellow borders, right, you had the standard holographic and you had the reverse holographic. So let's start with a common or uncommon card. You have right here, you click it and you see that you can see the quantities, and this is still also very friendly for your handheld device. Like doing this on your phone is actually just as smooth and works really well, in my opinion, just as well as the browser version. So here you can see it as the Oddish, and then it has the prices because I have that toggled on. So for quantity, you can again you can adjust it here. How many reverse holos do you have? I know I have some. I have at least a few Oddish reverse holos, but I don't really know yet, so I'm not going to add it. But this is just an example. You can edit the quantities, and that's how actually it shows up as your duplicates. For example, I do. Oh, I have 4 standard, copies of Oddish, and then eventually, see that updated. I'm not sure. See, I have a duplicate of Oddish. At this point, it doesn't show how many, but I think that could be a good thing. I think it's a good thing if no one knows how many duplicates you have of a certain card, because reasons. Okay, so you have that, and again, you can always click the reverse holo slot. And this is again, if you're starting from scratch. I just wanted to show that, but typically, again, through the example I have, see, I'm still missing this in the standard set. But again, going back to the Galarian Gallery, a card I just picked up was on my need list, and I didn't have to mark it as need because I already marked everything I have. So yeah, naturally everything that I need is going to show here. And they went ahead and told me that these market prices listed here are usually directly taken from TCG Player. And let's see, the one I got was, where's Adaman? Here he is. So I got this today, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. I can click in and see more of the details right over here. And I only have one, and it looks like, and I think this means that, yes, so Mike and Team Rocket, they both have that card too. Eventually, they're going to add a way for you to more easily see which cards your friends need, meaning, and they're going to be able to see what cards they can get from you too. So basically, you can think of it as your have and your needs. Your friends on your friends list will be able to find you if you have a duplicate, for example. So it's a really cool way, I think, to, if you want to complete a set or you just want more copies of a card, you can tell which of your friends have more than one, and you can go from there. You don't have to ask around too much. You can direct all of your questions to all of your friends that have duplicates of a card that you need. You're like, Comfrey. Like, I want, not Comfrey, Comfy. I don't know if I'm even saying that right, but let's say you want more of this card, right? So how many people have it? So just Team Rocket, Mike, see, all of these guys have the card. Now at this point, I think I can't really tell if they have duplicates, but I can tell they have it. So if if a person has a card, you can safely not assume, but you can safely ask that if they have a duplicate, since they have at least one. But eventually you'll be able to tell, actually, if you look at their Trello and you see some of the pictures, and I'll probably post a screenshot on this video as well, you'll be able to see early on in your friends list which cards someone has, or some cards that they need. So that's a really cool thing. And in addition to that, there is the Pokédex, which, as you collect certain cards, as you collect the characters on those cards, your Pokédex fills up. And just like I mentioned earlier, they'll be adding achievements. So that's going to be another fun thing to do down the line. And of course, there's a link to the Discord. And if you click that, I've already joined. But if you haven't, you can go ahead and do that. And you can get updates that are live, and just hang around with a bunch of people who also have the app. So again, I think one of the biggest things for me with this web app and is really the fact that it's, to me, very user friendly, and it's very friendly on the eyes for me. I love, like, the other apps. Again, I used to use a couple of apps. Of course, we all know things like Pokelector, which is great too. But I think what the potential is for PKMN.gg or Pokemon.gg is that it has a lot of potential for community building. Again, because there's a friend list, and because you'll be able to know who has which cards. You'll be able to even, if you look at the other things they're working on, you're going to be able to build a deck. You'll be able to probably, open booster packs. There's a lot of ways to actually share an experience with someone and actually find like-minded people here, whether they're other players or collectors. You'll be able to figure out your own kind of niche, your own kind of place to hang out, in this app. I think it's gonna feel a little bit more than your own personal collector's website or collecting app. It's not just gonna be an inventory app, or it's not just gonna be a place to check prices or things like that, but it's gonna be a cool place where you can actually develop your relationships with a lot of your friends a lot more. I think it has a huge potential for that, and I think that's what really caught me the most, caught my interest the most, as I, not only since, when I first used it, I was impressed at how much I could use it, but as I thought about it, and as I got to find out about a lot of the things that they're going to be adding to it, I began to think this is much more than just something that I can use. This is going to be something that really I can use to help being more involved in the community, not just on this app, but really in everywhere, including Twitter, where most of the people I know, outside of my own personal circle, within where I live, but on Twitter, a place where I think we can really do some fun stuff, especially when you think of the achievements, which sound pretty fun. I'm imagining a scenario where we can probably help each other get achievements by sending each other cards or something like that. I don't know. There's just so many things that they're going to be adding to it. And I highlight a lot of them in the article, but really you should visit their Trello and their website just to find out for yourself and try the app, because again, first of all, it's very handy. It's very practical. I actually brought this to a few local card shops while I was looking and hunting for some of my cards that I'm missing for some of my sets. For example, like for Crown Zenith, I was looking for that. Crown Zenith, but also Scarlet and Violet. like my need list. I would just bring this to my or any local card shop, and I would kind of scroll through it, and I can kind of tell. Firstly, I can tell which cards I needed right in front of me, and I can kind of get an idea of the price. And at the same time, I can check it off right then and there, and it would be perfect. It would be live right then and there at the shop. And and if you do like it and you use it, I think you should definitely share it with people that you meet, whether it be at the card shop or with your friends or tournaments. I think it's something great to have. And once they add that feature about editing and keeping track of your deck, it'll be super useful to actually, when you're meeting with your friends, whether you're to play casually or to play at a tournament, because you can compare the different decks you have and show them, show each other the different decks you've made, instead of just pictures and things like that. So for me, that's another great thing about this app. And another thing I almost forgot to mention was, like I said, there's going to be many things that they'll be working on, but being able to go to a card and adding a note to it. For example, you can write a note like, let's say I have, I have one of this Tropius card, or, let's do a better example. Let's go to, Penny. Let's say I have this, and I'll be able to add notes to each card and kind of list certain details like, oh, this card is in the purple binder, on the second shelf in the room. Or you can say that, oh, I could put a note here and say, this was a gift from this person. It's going to help all of us keep track of our collection and also the things that we need, and you guys know how it can be, how to organize your cards. Sometimes it's a challenge. So I think being able to add notes and stuff like that is going to be pretty fun, pretty cool, and very handy. So again, overall, the best things I think about the pkmn.gg is definitely the UI, the way it looks, and also the features that it comes with already as is. And I know they're developing more features, but as is, it's a great way to keep track of your cards, to kind of keep track of your friends and what cards they have, for example, like this one. And also, like I said, with the features that are coming, we'll be able to do a lot more. And so I think if you're looking to add another tool for collecting cards or to switch over to another tool, I think this would be a great option. I don't know what you as a collector or as a player look for specifically in an app like this, but for me it's definitely the way it looks, the features it has, and also really how much communication you have with the creators that are involved with it. And in this case, they are very good with communication. Travis and his friend, either be on Twitter or on their Discord. And again, the quality is great. And again, with their background in the video game development, it's really cool that this will be giving us a cool avenue for developing more of our friendships, relationships as a community, by the different activities you can do here besides the Pokedex, but also the achievements, and also actually the many things that, if you look on their Trello, you'll see. And also being able to show a card showcase on your profile, all of those things. So in a way, it's not only, again, a tool that is kept to yourself for your own use, but you can share it with others as if it was like a Facebook or something like that, where people can see what you got and what your prize cards are, basically, for example. That will be one of the goals, one of the that will be added. So for now, if you're thinking of switching over or trying a new tool, I definitely recommend pkmn.gg. And if you want something that kind of reminds you of both card collecting and video games, I think this is the app for you. And for me, it's definitely something that I like. So go ahead and give it a try and see what you think about it. And hopefully some of the things I mentioned will help or help you consider trying it out. A lot of people I know are already using it, so it's been really fun. So whatever you decide to do, thanks for at least watching the video. Thanks for hearing me out. And on another note, I don't do that many kind of reviews, but I did have one or two reviews of other items, and one of them was the GameGenic card storage box. So I'll put that link here as well, and you'll be able to look at that and see what I thought about it. There's a lot of cool card accessory companies out there, and I think this one is really handy and was really cool for keeping certain types of cards that I have. So you can check that out if you have time. And I also have other videos here. There aren't that many, but most of my other videos just have to do with opening some Pokemon cards and stuff like that. But in the future, I definitely hope to do some other stuff, and in addition to adding a couple things like articles and more stories to my website. So if you can check that out, that would help a lot too. And if you can like and subscribe the video, that would also help a lot. So thanks guys, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.